Hi, welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching Galaxy today on Galaxy Television. Just to remind you again, you can be a part of this conversation. Interact with us via our social media platforms using the hashtag Galaxy Today, or send us a message if you have a question or two for our guests this morning.
Exactly. We have in the studio Unit Commander, Ikeja Unit Command, the person of Emma Fekoya. Good morning, man. Welcome to Galaxy today.
Good morning. Thank you very much.
Okay, I like your look. You look like you're all ready to see that we all enjoy safety on the highway this Yuletide.
Thank you.
But then I'd like us to look at what road safety in particular have, what they have in plan for this Yuletide as regards the use of highway.
Okay, before now, we've been doing the usual public enlightenment and education at every opportunity, in every religious institution, offices, marketplace, parks, you just name it. But for this particular period where people will be moving out en masse, we have our men on ground. We're camping most of the men in 3 places: Mowe, Ojodu, and Ojota, to take care of any event that occurs. Then secondly, we are going to use our breath analyzers to check for drunk drivers or people who are driving under the influence of alcohol. And we'll be picking them randomly to check, to test. Some, we've already been doing that at parks. We have what we call pre-trip inspection. We go to parks every morning, but of course we can't be everywhere at the same time.
Yes, true.
So randomly we check on parks, and we check the drivers are about to drive out to test if they have any alcohol intake that might be dangerous to their driving. And so we've been doing that. Then for the road, we'll pull them out randomly,
Okay.
just to be very sure.
Okay.
Then thirdly, and this one will come as an advice to fleet operators, the enforcement of speed limiting device. A lot of them have dropped down. And most of these crashes, the fatality rates are as a result of speed. It's there in the law, we can't change it. In the National Road Traffic Regulations 152 subsection 4, every commercial vehicle is expected to fix a speed limiting device. And so we'll be there on the road for them. For those who have refused to comply, we will pull them out, impound their vehicle. So that ends the journey. So we'll use this avenue to tell them, if they know they have not installed the speed limiting device, they shouldn't put those vehicles on the road.
But these limiters, speed limiters, how readily available are they? Is it something they have to go to your office to get, or where can they get it?
They are available. It's the addresses, the vendors, the addresses, their phone numbers on our website.
Okay.
It's there for them. You just go through a website, get the information on the one that is closest to your office or wherever you are, call them, and then they'll come and fix it. It's just how many minutes and it's over. But you know the Nigerian factor, until you breathe down their necks, they're not ready to do it.
But this clampdown that you're set to do now, is it strictly for fleet operators or private commuters?
Commercial vehicles now.
Okay.
But to tell the truth, speed limiting devices for every vehicle. Or for this particular period now, we are not just this season, for now we are concentrating on commercial vehicles.
Okay, but will this go into the year? Would it just be something for this season, or is it's going to be a practice you're going to put out there?
Continuous process.
It's already in the law.
Okay.
We are to enforce it.
Okay.
All right,
Okay, I see.
we'll still come back. Let's get input from Ibadan and just then compare notes per se. We're being joined by the Corps Commander there, Cecilia Alaosh is the Sector Commander, Federal Road Safety Corps in Oyo State. Good morning, ma'am. Many thanks for joining us on Galaxy Television. All right, we're looking at safety on the highway this morning on the show. We want to really find out what your sector has done as regards reducing road carnages this particular period, because it's barely 6 days to Christmas, and you will agree that lots of people will be traveling this particular period. What specifically have you done in the past few days?
Thank you very much. in the before now, we had done a lot of sensitization, and when I say that, we have gone to parks, to churches, to mosques, to marketplaces, to make sure that we sensitize people on the need to imbibe safety consciousness when they hit the road in this period. Why we have done that is because we want to disabuse the mind of motorists at large, to say that there are no spirits in this period, that there are no demons, that there are no gods that are suddenly angry in ember months. And that's why we have used that platform of education and enlightenment before now. Now, what we are doing now is, as at today, we have done deployment. We have deployed our men all over across the state, all the 10 formations.
All right, we'll still try and reconnect with Ibadan. There we're having a little bit of freezing issues this morning. Let's continue here in Lagos. We'll try and rejoin Sector Commander in a moment. She was talking about what they've done so far. I want us to still talk more about drinking or drunk driving and all of that, because people still put their lives and other people's life in danger. We've done lots of, that is, have done lots of sensitization, education, but how come a lot of people don't lead to this advice?
I would say the issue of attitude. We have a problem in Nigeria. We know what to do, but we choose not to do it, irrespective of the consequences that comes with it. Just like cigarettes, they say cigarette smoking is dangerous to your health, don't take it, but they still do. So it's an issue of attitude, and until we change our attitude. So what we can just do is to keep talking and enforcing where necessary.
What's the minimum of the maximum punishment that anyone can get for DUI?
Actually, we'll give a fine, impound the vehicle, because we can't allow you to continue. And then, well, it depends. If we want to prosecute you, we'll take you to court.
Okay, but is it just for alcohol? How about for those who are into drugs?
It's the same. It's the same. It's both ways. Drinking under the influence of alcohol or drugs is both ways. But I also want to use this opportunity to appeal to people, because some people are ignorant as well. Sometimes you take medications that make you drowsy. So it's expected anyone that is on medication should please ask the doctor, on the effect it could have on them. Because they could just be taking medications and then while driving they just discover, why am I feeling sleepy? And of course the Nigerian factor, instead of just pulling over and park, let me just manage. And then something else results. So I want to appeal to everyone, if you're under drugs, please confirm from your doctor the side effects of those drugs. That will also help.
Okay, so I want us to also look at the part of the VIO now when it comes to the bus or the vehicle now in use. Instead of the road being at risk, the vehicle too might also be at risk. What are the measures probably you and VIO are doing to see that the right vehicles ply the road, particularly commercial buses?
We are working in partnership. We collaborate together. And also, since we're on the road, we have, if once we notice such issues, we pull them out. We impound the vehicle, because a vehicle that is mechanically deficient or that is not roadworthy should be out of the road. And so we also appeal to people. If you must travel and you get to the point that you see that the vehicle is not in good order, if you don't want your journey to be terminated permanently, that's if it involves in a crash, or be terminated by us, because if we discover such, that's the end of your journey. For that moment, maybe you know that discomfort and the problem you have to encounter. So make sure the vehicle you're boarding, it's in good order. It starts from them, because road safety is everybody's responsibility. We can't do it. If everybody goes there and sees that that vehicle is not okay and nobody gets into it, the man will have no choice than to park it.
All right. Let's return to Ibadan for a bit now. Co-Commander Malao, I want to find out specifically what the law says as regards traveling and driving in the night for long distance travel, and if it is advisable, for road users to embark on such trips, even in the night, because most people just want to like drop off passengers and pick up the next day, so they can actually make a lot for the season. What do you say concerning that?
Thank you very much. I think I'd spoken earlier on night travel, and I said that the stand of FRSC on night travel is that we advise people not to embark on night travel. It is not as if there's a specific law banning night travel, but we are looking at the safety. If we are looking at the safety of that person and the safety of other people, and we are saying that in the hours of the night there may not be help if there is emergency, and that if you are not very familiar with the route you are applying in the night, you may not know where danger looms, and that's why we are advising against night travel, because number one, the vision of the driver may be impaired in the night. If that person requires glasses to drive and is not with glasses and is in the night, he will not see well ahead of him, and because of the danger inherent in that, if there is emergency, where does that person go for help? And we have seen cases where a crash would have happened overnight, and there will not be help until the early hours of the morning, when there will be security agencies on the road. For that reason, we are advising that people should not embark on night travel. They should not travel in the night.
We'll come back to Ibadan in a moment. She just spoke about the FRSC stand on night traveling. You always appeal, you always try to talk to people, yet they don't listen. Fine, aside from warning them, sometimes when these accidents and these crashes occur, let's talk about rescue operations and the timeliness to it all. Do you partner with other relevant stakeholders as regards, saving people who might have been trapped in these carnages? Tell us about it. Yeah.
We work with NEMA, we work with LASEMA, we work with other agencies, we work with the hospitals, the general hospitals. We partner with them. When such issues occur, we have their emergency lines. So we get in touch with them immediately. So they are on standby for us as we bring these victims down, so they are not caught unawares. So we have that synergy. But
do you think the response is actually prompt? Because sometimes we've had cases of where victims of accidents are taken to hospitals, and the medical officers there, they're not really, so
not with the way we are collaborating together.
Okay.
Because like I said earlier on, road safety is everybody's business.
Yes.
We can't do it alone. We need other people to help us. And that's why we are synergizing with other agencies to help us, in particular the hospitals. Let's not forget too that they too have their own issues, and that's why, like bed space and the rest of it, like last week we entered into an understanding. Peradventure, the hospital is too full to take the victims. At least they will treat them on couches that will bring along. At least they'll give them first aid treatment before they are referred. So we are putting everything in order to make sure that this eventuality of these crashes, they are taken care of.
Okay, let's go back. Let's do a bit of review. If we look at the previous years and then this year, do you think the casualties we've had this year is the casualty rate has reduced as compared to previous years?
Yes, I would say, because we've intensified efforts on every other areas. We've had to tidy up loose ends and work on it to perfect it, and I'm very sure it's a lot better.
Okay, now you did say something earlier that there are some measures you've put in place to see that there are less accidents, and of course the road use will be better this time around. I would like to know, what are those measures that you've put in place that is different from what they had in previous years? I mean, a whole lot of people now are thinking it's better not to travel, saying that there's no money and there are all of this, and some others are thinking of traveling. What are the measures you put into place? Because if I want to travel, and I'm sure that one of the basic thing we suffer is bad roads. But I'm sure that going this particular time around, I'm sure of going and coming back safely. So,
okay, let me correct something first.
Okay.
Accidents are when things happen just like that,
Okay.
not prepared for. But that's not what we have.
Okay.
Most of the things that happen, the crashes we have, are caused by us. So we try not to refer them as to accidents anymore. We just use the word crash.
Crash. Okay.
Okay. Then you said something that some people are thinking that maybe they shouldn't travel. That's a good option for us. Because the less traffic we have, the better for us. If a few people decide to travel, that means we have less trouble on the road. Then you said other measures that we've been doing that are like, for us now, we have motorized public enlightenment.
Okay.
We move around junctions on the streets, we park, that's road safety vehicles, and we talk to people what they need to do. Even the issue of wearing, because a lot of people don't know, we have hit and run cases. It's not everyone who has good visibility in the night. So sometimes a lot of people assume the driver sees me, I'm crossing. Unfortunately, he doesn't even see you until he hits you. So what we try to tell people as well is that if you must go back late in the night, either you ensure that whatever you're wearing, like something you're wearing like this,
Okay.
it's reflective. Or you get a reflective jacket or an armband that makes you visible on the road. So those tips we go around telling people. And then we also encourage people, if you've not had your eyes checked, screened, please do so. Because every day you age, a lot of things has a negative toll on our health. Unconsciously, we don't know that. So probably you think you are seeing well while you have a problem with your eyes. And then especially for night driving, we discourage people completely, because if you are not seeing properly in the night, once you have a flash from the other vehicle, you are blind. You are just moving that vehicle. But people are ignorant. So with all this motorized PE that we go around doing, a lot of people are educated on it. And we also talk about this use of using your earphones. That's for pedestrians. The 2 ears blocked. We've had cases where a truck actually failed brake, and everybody was shouting, and the boy didn't hear. He was crushed.
Oh. Well, that's really sad. Okay, let's just conclude with Ibadan before we move to Abuja now. Okay, I think we'll just take a quick break. We'll be right back. Stay with us. All right, welcome back. It's still Galaxy. Today, we're moving back to Ibadan to conclude with the sector commander, Cecilia Alao, who is still standing by. Just before we let you go, I really want to find out which is the more common reason for the accident during this period. Is it overspeeding or overloading? Precisely, what would you attribute to the main causes of accident at this particular period? Is it overspeeding or just overloading or just generally bad vehicles?
I will say it's the attitude of people. And when we are talking about attitude of people, it is people that speed. It is motorists. It is drivers that speed. Speed is there for drivers to control. But in this period, because they want to arrive their destination in a jiffy, and they want to do more trips than they have been doing before, they tend to speed in this period. And so we have most of the crashes that happen will be traced back to speeding on the road in this period. And so my advice will be that our men on the road, their presence is to calm traffic. Their presence is to deter people from disobeying rules and regulations where on the road. So my general advice in this period will be that for us to stay alive, because the theme of this year Ember month of FRS is that right to life on the road is not negotiable. For us to be able to achieve this, every one of us must join hands together to see that when we hit the road, the right to life that is even recognized by law, by the Constitution of Nigeria, is upheld by our collective responsibility. So what I'm saying is that people should obey rules and regulations when they hit the road in this period, and they should disabuse their mind that it is gods are angry in this period. Gods are not angry. There are no spirits on the road that wants to suck anybody's blood. It behoves on us to ensure that we uphold the right to life on the road in this period and drive safely, so that we arrive our destination in peace and we be able to celebrate the season with our loved ones.
Let me let you go. I'd just like you to give a word of advice to basically passengers. You've said that you've spoken to the drivers and you've advised them on they should avoid overspeeding. But for the passengers, what role do they have to play in this?
I think we are having a situation now that passengers are also constituting to crashes happening on the road, and the way they do it is that they distract the attention of driver. Some of them are in a hurry even more than the drivers, and they tend to encourage the driver to speed. So what I will say on this is that as passengers, we have the right to be driven to our destination alive. We have a right to life, and we should support the driver to ensure that he takes us to our destination in peace by letting him do what he knows how to do best. Do not control the driver. As a passenger, you only have the right to sit down in the vehicle quietly, but you can lend your voice if peradventure the driver wants to go beyond his limits. But generally, I want to advise that we should stay calm. We should stay calm. We should encourage the driver to do that which is right as passengers on the road, so that we do not constitute to causes of crashes in this period.